Welcome to High School Graduation and College and Career Readiness Act of 2016 guidance. Today we'll be focused on dropout prevention. My name is Robin Shobe and I'm an education specialist at the Oregon Department of Education. I want to begin by talking about the equity lens. ODE wants to acknowledge the importance of a conscious commitment to equity in this work. We want to make sure districts take advantage of ODE's equity lens in evaluating both current offerings and planned for expansions under this law. Equity is not only a primary element of ODE's mission, but a critical aspect of effective programming in this work. If our goal with this bill is to improve high school graduation rates and to graduate our students college and career ready, this demands that we look at whose needs are not being met by current programming and services. It also demands that we take very deliberate steps to expand services to meet those needs. A cohesive model of implementation. Once again, our stated goal in this work is to improve high school graduation rates and college and career readiness. This will likely be the result of districts developing cohesive plans targeting identified student needs rather than merely enhancing existing programs serving students already likely to graduate. Use of students' education plans and profiles can help to identify student interests and provide guidance in program development to meet those interests and intents. So in terms of dropout prevention, what are districts required to do? They're required to establish a regular time for teachers and staff of students in grade 9 to collaboratively review current data on students' grades, absences, and discipline by school and by course, and to develop strategies to ensure at-risk students stay on track to graduate. One of the most effective ways to do this is to develop an early indicator and intervention system. Your district may already have an early indicator and intervention system, otherwise known as an early warning system, or your district might have elements of this system and work to expand it. This system includes access to real-time data that includes course grades, discipline, attendance, and other relevant local data as needed to identify students at risk early, intervene with effective interventions early. Best practices for identifying and responding early is to establish a team, not merely have one person looking at the data and responding on their own. Establishing a routine, twice monthly is recommended. To review and evaluate current interventions that your school or district provides students who are at risk and evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of those interventions, and to develop additional interventions as needed. So what else are districts required to do under dropout prevention? Implement district-wide evidence-based practices for reducing chronic absenteeism in grades 9 through 12. What is chronic absence? Experts in the field define chronic absenteeism as missing 10% or more of school days, and severe chronic absenteeism is missing 20% or more of school days, which includes excused, unexcused, and discipline-related absences. Why are unexcused absences included in calculating chronic absence? For years, the issue of chronic absenteeism was not widely understood, as most states, districts, and schools were not measuring it. Instead, many schools use the metric of average daily attendance, which can greatly mask the number of students who are chronically absent. For example, a school may have a daily attendance rate of 92% or higher, while 1 in 4 students in the school are chronically absent. While great effort is put into improving teaching methods and materials, the simple truth is that none of it matters if students are not in the classroom to receive it. Multiple researchers at both the national and local level have presented data indicating a strong relationship between missing school for any reason and devastating outcomes such as students dropping out, low graduation rates, and even juvenile contacts. Briefly, the root causes of chronic absenteeism can be sorted into 4 general buckets. The first, barriers or can't go, factors that include things like lack of access to health or dental care, poor transportation, no safe path to school, and even trauma. Aversion or won't go, things like bullying, ineffective discipline, unidentified or an unsupported disability, or institutional racism. Myths or don't go, absences, these sort of beliefs that are perpetuated through the school culture potentially or through families. Absences are only a problem if they're unexcused. Sporadic versus consecutive absences are not a problem. Attendance only matters in the later grades. The last box, disengagement, lack of relevant and engaging instruction, no meaningful relationships with adults in buildings, or poor school climate. So what can schools do to address some of the root causes why kids are not attending school and to address chronic absenteeism? We can look at school culture, things like positive visual and verbal messaging about the importance of good attendance, but not necessarily perfect attendance, the use of positive behavior supports and interventions or a like system, having staff be able to identify student by name, every child in the building being able to identify at least one adult that they have a positive relationship with, evidence of culturally responsive practices, consideration for equity, looking at courses that are relevant, engaging, and accessible. Students' educational experiences reflect consideration for the whole child. Data, teacher access to real-time accurate attendance data, teams to analyze the data, and effective interventions to respond to the data. Best practices include providing monitoring of attendance in the first month of school and calling home on 4th and 7th absences. Health is a big reason that students may potentially be missing school, so establishing clear policies about when students should and shouldn't attend regarding illness, taking proactive precautionary measures to keep students and staff healthy, making sure that students are receiving adequate nutrition, putting systems into place to make sure that we're responding to social and emotional needs of students and to ensure that families and students are aware of local resources. Transportation, make sure that every student has a safe route to school, and other local considerations, building calendars with consideration of culture-specific traditions, responding to specific community needs such as clothing closets, additional transportation, tutoring, summer programs, etc. Another effective way to be addressing the root causes of chronic absenteeism would be to establish a multi-tiered system of support. Many schools already have response to intervention or positive behavior intervention and supports in place. This allows a framework in which to deliver effective interventions, preventative interventions, and more intensive interventions as needed to ensure that kids come to school. The key elements of a multi-tiered system of support framework include a data system, universal screening, which would be extremely important in 9th grade, cross-sector teaming to be able to problem solve and select appropriate interventions, progress monitoring for students needing additional support, the ability to make school-wide and individualized database decision-making, coaching and specialist support, ongoing targeted professional development, and intensifying levels of intervention support as needed. I have provided a few resources here. There's Oregon State Chronic Absenteeism Plan FAQs. There's a national initiative, Every Student, Every Day, a national initiative to address and eliminate chronic absenteeism, and Attendance Works. Here are additional guidance and support learning modules. They have been recorded so that if you were not able to attend them on the date displayed on this slide, you'll be able to go and listen to the recording. I appreciate your time today and welcome any questions you have regarding dropout prevention. You can reach me at robin.shobe@state.or.us. Thank you so much.